Coming up next on In the Box Seat podcast.
I think, after we won the double, the Tour Derby and Gold Vase, everybody was like, everyone was telling me we're going to win. They gave me more confidence than I even had because I didn't know what to think. I just told everybody we're going and we're going to watch a race, and then we were favourite as well.
Welcome to another edition of In the Box Seat podcast, proudly brought to you by RaceCoast. Today, our guest in the hot seat is a gentleman who's a family man, he's a businessman, and he's the face of Lucky Vest 12cc. His name is Ravi Padayachee. But before we get to Ravi, my co-host is Rahil Radkrishna. Rahil, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks to yourself, Warren. Now, obviously excited to hear about Ravi's story and all about King Pelles, I should say, and how the journey has been. And yeah, looking forward to chatting to Ravi.
Ravi, how are you?
Hi, Warren, Rahil. Thanks for having me here. It's a privilege to be here. I'm very good.
When we saw the journey that King Pelles has taken you on, it was a no-brainer to have you in the hot seat and talk about King Pelles, but more about him in a while. Let's talk about who taught you about this beautiful game of horse racing and when did it all start for you?
Warren, some 21 years ago, my late wife, I used to be a punter, loved the sport, come to the races and stand outside the parade ring and watch. And the dream, I think every punter's dream was to own a horse and have a winner one day. Yep. And that was my initial dream. And my late wife supported me when we started my business, and she said, "Why don't you buy a horse?" And that's where the journey started.
What was the process of buying a horse as a first time owner? I mean, not being sure what to do or how to go about it.
My first lesson was a very hard lesson. I don't want to talk about it, but it was a horse that ran over 40 or 50 lengths behind the last horse. And nevertheless, I got involved thereafter with Alistair Gordon, and I had a good few winners with him. Yeah. Lovely man, his wife as well, Jeanette. And Nicolette was their assistant at that time. Yes, I had a listed race with him, Red Flyer. We had a lovely relationship, and then I think Alistair retired. Then I moved on. I had a few horses with a few trainers, Michael Leacock, Michael Hazy, Duncan House, Paul Gatsby. There's a few, and eventually I'm here with the Funzales. Yeah. Love my racing with them. Also Cliffy Miller, I had 10 winners with him. Sure. In Kimberley. And I'm here with Garrett Funzale now. And yes, it's a pleasure to race with them.
They're an incredible family. They're an incredible team. How did you get to meet them? And tell us about your journey with the Funzales.
So I was Justin Vermaak and Bernard Fedeb. They were my friends, and they started Green Street. I got involved with them with a few horses, and Gavin was training for Justin.
Okay.
And eventually, Green Street, they basically closed down. Justin had bigger things to see to. I got involved with Gavin, and that's where our relationship started. So, yes, and at that time, Garrett had also took out his license, but I said, let me stay with Dad. And I know Dad one day is going to, join, or they're going to combine and become one team. And yes, that's what happened. So yes, I stayed with Gavin, and then when Gavin decided to, retire, step down, I joined Garrett.
With regards to your first ownership, getting involved with Justin, I mean, that would have been a syndicate.
Yes, that was a syndicate.
So what's the sort of the experience of racing in a syndicate, racing by yourself, and racing in a partnership?
Rahil, it's so important to have a good partnership, a good relationship with the partners that you have. Because the first negative vibe you have, it kills that atmosphere. It kills the horse, it kills racing. This is something that I think everybody must learn. Yeah. If you've been in the industry and you start nagging and bitter, you're not going to get that joy. And I was the person that took everything with a pinch of salt. And that's why, I had this run and God has blessed me in this way.
Yeah.
So yes, there were some partners that were better. Have to be, you get your highs and lows, but the honest truth is, if you're syndicating, you have to have a good partnership, a good relationship, and everybody needs to know that you can't have your horses can't win every time they run.
Yes, yeah.
That's something very important.
You've been 21 years and growing in the industry. Racing has the incredible highs and the lowest lows and the dry spells. How do you cope through those dry spells?
You take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, there's days that you come to, I say months, then you come to the races and you would expect to have a win and you don't even have places.
Yeah.
It's sad, but because I'm passionate about the sport, I love the game, and to just be part of it, you have to, take it with a pinch of salt and wait for the next time, because I always believe the sun will rise tomorrow. And I look at it that way.
We'll go back to King. We'll talk about King Pelles in a moment, but talking about the lows, I mean, that journey was incredible. Had you not won the Whirlpool Gold Cup, how would you have taken that?
That morning, that night I didn't sleep, but I did tell my family that we'd already completed a double, and whatever happens, happens. That's racing. We know it. I've won all the T-shirts, so the win will be the bonus. But going into it, I said, guys, if we don't win, let's not be saddened about it. We'll get another chance. And yes, but I think it was, as I said to you guys, it was all written up there. Yeah. It was meant to be.
I mean, let's get the pronunciation out the way first. I mean, because there's many ways of saying it was King Pelles, King Pelles. I mean, what is the correct way to say that?
When Gavin and I bought this horse at the sales, the guy that was calling the name, he said King Pelles. And when we bought it, I know the comment, Craig and Sheldon were calling King Pelles. But everywhere I went, and Gavin and I, we only call it King Pelles.
Cool.
So, yes, even Craig asked me, and then we confirmed, yes, it's King Pelles.
How did the journey with the horse start? I mean, going back, he's now turned 5. I mean, how did it begin from the sales days to, you mentioned the yard?
We had a celebration this weekend for King Pelles, and I did tell the guys, for 25,000 Rand more, that's where the journey started. Yeah. Because Gavin admitted, had Ravi not spent that 25 Rand before the hammer went down, 25,000, we would have not had this journey. And yes, our budget was 400. We went to 425, and then Sean put his hand up for 450. Yeah. And just before the hammer went, I just had this feeling, and I put my hand up, and the hammer went down at 475. And I looked at Sean, and he was higher up than me, and Gavin looked at me, and I said, well, I bought the horse, you do your job now. So that was it. That's the journey.
That one extra bid, it's amazing how you never know, because that one extra bid has given you a ride of your life so far.
I promise you, I think, my intuition and my gut at that spur of the moment basically changed my racing career and given me this, journey.
When you went back home that day, did you sort of reflect and think was this the right decision to spend that 25,000 and more?
Yeah, we were very excited. Gavin told me, this is a racehorse. Believe me, this is a racehorse. You're going to have lots of fun with it. And Mr. Player had phoned us. He was in the Bahamas. And Mr. Player, I could see Mr. Player's name on the phone. And then Gavin passed it to me, and Mr. Player said, Ravi, how are you? I'm at the Bahamas. I'm having mutton curry. I said, no, you can't be double mutton curry. Yeah. So he wanted a share. so you could speak to Gavin about that. So yes, that's almost a player also got involved in that.
And then there's Dave McLean as well.
And Gary also included Dave as well from the shares.
And
that
a good friend of yours is involved as well.
Yes, a very good friend, Viren, who I asked that, I'll be buying a few horses. And that evening he phoned me and he says, the sales, there was no more shares, but I decided to share with him. And yeah, he's very ill, this man. Viren is basically got leukemia, doing a bone marrow transplant at the moment. I wish him all the best. And, maybe with this journey, with him as well included, that he recovers from this.
Yeah. This horse, this champion of yours, talk us through the whole experience, because not one grade 3, not 2 grade 3s, but 3.
When Gavin and Garrett, when he decided that he's taking this horse, he broke his maiden plate here in Gravel. And when he decided to take his the horse to Cape Town, it was so exciting because I knew now there are going to be future races.
Yes.
And I love Cape Town. I enjoy Cape Town. Racing in Cape Town is also beautiful. So I said, having a horse there. Yes, but he didn't be the horse that he's supposed to have been compared to what he is now. Yeah. But I also learned something, that some horses would never or don't mature early. And this is a proof. He's matured later, but he's done well in Cape Town. He's won that 2,800 meter race, and that's when his form changed, and we could see. And he's very versatile because he can run on soft end.
Yeah,
it's going to take a good horse to beat him over soft. Cool. So exciting. Yes, when we won those races in Cape Town, we knew we'll have some fun with him. And Garrett did tell me, this is a Gold Cup horse. Yeah. So yeah.
Gavin, you mentioned that Gavin had told you at the sales, this is a racehorse, and he started off his career in a way that would make you think that there's something about him, but he did go through a spell where things weren't going his way. He wasn't putting his best foot forward. I mean, during that part of his career, did you ever sort of lose faith and think to yourself, maybe he's not as good as we think he is?
When I spoke to Kevin in Cape Town, we put him over 1,600 and he didn't feature. And Kevin said, this horse needs ground. Yep. He needs the Derby. He can win the Derby. He can win the 3,000. Knowing that a man like that knows he's a subject matter expert, you take those advices. And honestly, I was the one, and Garrett and Gavin will tell you, I was the one that kept the partnership and kept everybody. I encouraged them, no, we're not throwing in the towel now. Yep. At one stage, it looked like that, but we changed that. And thanks to Garrett, because whatever he did, he pressed the right buttons and he got him spot on.
Art of a good trainer is to be able to, I've always said, the art of a good trainer, somebody who can get a bad maiden to win one race, and somebody who can just turn a horse around when they're in troubled waters. So that's a good training feat.
100%. He's this, I can't explain to you. Garrett is such a horseman, but he's also technically, he understands the technical values of racing, and that's important as well. Very, very experienced for his young age. He's got a lot to come. He's got a lot to show in the years ahead.
Let's go from horses to humans. You're a family man. You've made it well known. It's there for all to see. Special family. Tell us more about them.
Yeah, Warren, when I lost my wife, I thought my world came to an end. Cool. It's a difficult one. And I don't wish that on anybody, but I had the little one, Keanu, at 2 years, 10 months, I had to raise him myself. And, being two men or males in the house, it was difficult. It was a difficult journey. And I got him to soldier up, and I taught him he got involved in all the sport. He loves his golf, cricket, rugby. So he played everything. And that's where I learned now to do everything myself, cook. There was no way, you can't feel sorry for yourself, You had to do it yourself. Yeah. And when after she passed on, there was a few families around, but when they all left, I had to start doing things myself. So that's when I never felt sorry. Yes, Keanu is an excellent cook at the moment. He can cook anything. Yeah, he's very good. He's a true, young man that I'm so proud of. I've taught him as much as I can and instilled good values. We're also very religious and cultural. We love our culture, and we do. There's one thing that my parents taught me is not to condemn any religion, and we love all religions.
Yeah,
and that's what my son has also, I've taught him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Was it easy to get him involved in racing, or was just a natural sort of step with you?
So I don't know if you saw a couple of my interviews. These would have said Ravi would bring Kiana. I think he did an interview or two when I wasn't available, and I used to dress Kiana up with the pink and blue and take him to the races. So from that little boy. So yes, Kiana was involved with me because he was the only one with me at home. So I had to take him to the races.
Sure. What were the emotions like? What was the vibe like in the Padayachee household the night before the big day?
It was a party, but no one wanted to go to bed. And when everyone went to bed, no one was sleeping because everyone was chatting from the room.
Yeah.
Although the doors are closed, but everyone was like, trying to talk, and it was like exciting. I couldn't sleep. I never slept.
How did the colors come about?
In fact, my late wife, when she told me to, buy your first horse, I did mention to her that we have to have colors, racing colors. And she said to me, yes, pink and blue is the colors. That's not negotiable. Yeah. I designed it, obviously. Neche was here in the gravel at that time. So, yes, we did it. And that's how she basically, it's her colors. And that's why it's very sentimental to me. When I use the pink and blue, and also on Gold Cup Day, I think it was either Candice or Anika that got one photo when I threw a kiss, and you could see my hand up in the air. And a lot of them asked me, what was that for? And I said, no, this was a kiss to Vance.
Yeah, sure. That's beautiful. That's absolutely special and beautiful. Absolutely, indeed. And the colors match Lucky Vest 12cc. The name, the
So when my wife passed away, I had to wind up the state like normal, and it was a frustrating process. So I used to race under Ravi, Mr. and Mrs. Ravi Padayachee, and I had to wind up the state. So my attorneys quickly bought a CC off the shelf, and it was Lucky Vest CC. So that's how we got in Lucky Vest CC.
Yeah.
And speaking of the colors, it was so good to see all of you guys dressed up in that pink and blue attire on Gold Cup Day.
I think, after we won the double, the Toe Derby and Gold Vase, everybody was like, weird. Everyone was telling me we're going to win. They gave me more confidence than I even had because I didn't know what to think. I just told everybody we're going in, we're going to watch a race, and then we were favored as well. And so everybody chose to wear pink and blue. We never asked him. And Megs being part of my life and supporting me as well. I think she told everyone, you coming to the races, you wear pink and blue, otherwise you don't come. That kind of...
two things on the day that really stuck out for me. One was the lead-in. To look up to the lead-in and see the colors and everybody with just smiles on their faces. And the other one was in the parade ring before the race. I remember walking and greeting the circle of friends and family. There was a vibe there. I got my hair stood on end.
Yeah, I think if you wasn't part of that, moment, it was absolutely phenomenal. It was, Gold Cup, as I said, I don't know why it's gone down to degraded to a grade 3. It was previously a grade 1. Cool. But just the biggest race for the end of the season, and to be part of it and be favored and champion trainer of KZN, we were like, there's so much of vibe. Everyone was so excited. There's only good vibes.
You won Owner of the Month or so ago. How was that experience? Because it was a phenomenal spell for you as an owner. And was that the one spell throughout your racing career that stands out for you? Was it the most successful spell for you?
I was previously Owner of the Month in Clearwood. Sure. That was, I think, about 2009. But yes, this was absolutely another epic journey. I can't explain it. But, I did mention to Garrett, I said, Garrett, come end of April, your season's going to turn. You're going to have lots of winners, and you're going to go on and win the KZN. He says, And it happened just like that. And, we had a celebration this Saturday, and Garrett just said this. Guys, if you want and you want to listen, you listen to Ravi. Because whatever he says comes true. It's from his mouth to God's ears. So that's how, it happened. And but Garrett puts in hard work. Yeah. So you have to give him and his team at home everything, you have to congratulate them. And I also love to support them. And, Garrett will tell you, we go over to the stables, we do, sort of prize and support you when we have a winner.
Oh, lovely.
We all have very special people in our lives, and you mentioned Dee's Dinant, and he's a very special friend of yours for many years. Tell us about that partnership and that friendship.
Warren, as I said, my first interview after my wife passed away, the horse that she asked me to buy, it was still in training when she passed on. So when we did my interview, Dee's did. When he went home that evening, he sat with Surya and they watched the interview. And I did break down on TV. It was a very sad moment for me. So I think they took to me then. And from then, Surya and Dees, they contacted me the next day and they wanted to just see how I'm doing. And that relationship has grown and we're still very close friends.
It's a small thing like that just spark something, that just, something small can, and look at the relationship after all these years.
I promise you it's phenomenal because not only these, there's a whole host of, racing personalities, employees at RaceCoast that have built a relationship with over the years, like Raf Sheikh, Melanie, and, Kayleen. There's so many others, not to mention, I can't remember them all now, but there's a whole lot that I've maintained a relationship with.
What line of business are you in, Ravi?
I have an engineering company, a mechanical engineering company that's 21 years old. And we're based in Pinetown. We do work all over the country. And I also have a pub called Hoof and Saddle.
Sure.
That's where we have our card calls, and you guys have been there as well.
Sure.
And Saturday we had our function there. It was such a beautiful function, It's such a lovely, cozy, upmarketed, venue. So yes, that's my hobby, but it's a business as well.
Was it something that you're always interested in getting involved in?
Not really. When it came up for sale, because that was my place where I would go, take your bets and watch your races with your friends. So when it came up for sale, I said, let me just grab it and let me, revamp the place. It was run down, but we revamped it and we got it to where it is.
It's a gorgeous facility. I mean, you've done a lot of work there. It really is special.
Yes, it's very, very nice upmarket and very safe as well.
So it's quite a nice place, and you've been able to create some nice memories in that place already.
Yes, King Pelles, if you see the branding, we got King Pelles on our Hoof and Saddle with Tandy on it. And I took a photo of it and I sent it to Smanga, and he said, no, you need to take Tandy's name out, because he's won the race. Yeah. But that's how I believed in KP at that time. And yes, King Pelles has been successful.
Yeah, what a journey and you've been on with him. And what's the plans going forward with the horse? I mean, have you guys thought that far ahead?
Yeah, last week I had a chat with Garrett, very long chat that evening, and so I said to him, no pressure now, but I don't normally tell my trainer or, what to do and which jockey should ride the horses. But I asked him where from here, because we can't wait for another year, to come back for these races. Yeah, we got a good horse. We have to take our chances. So whatever I had in mind, he had also had the same things, but I wanted to hear him first. Yeah. And we're gonna give it a shot at the Summer Cup. Hopefully, if everything goes well.
Sure. Yeah, that will be. I mean, if they can pull that off, that would be what an achievement.
Sure, and it's not impossible. Yeah. It's not impossible at all. And
we chatted. I even asked Monty as well. Monty is very learned in the game, subject matter expert as well, and he said, "Why not? It's a good chance. Yeah. A long straight in, and what's good about it, in November, you get the reins in Joburg, and he can run in the soft. So if the heavens bless us again, and if the rains come during that week, we'll be lucky. We're going to give it a shot."
Are there many horses in the Padayachee stable at the moment?
At the moment, I have 19 with Garrett.
Okay, that's a lot, and that's exciting.
Very exciting, Garrett but Gavin, I have to, give credit to this man. I know he has admitted that his son is better than him. He did admit that. And the thing is, he's got a good eye for horses. That you can't take away. And we bought some good stock. Hopefully, I did tell Garrett as well that we got a good chance of winning the July in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So let's see. Even if it's not me, but I wish him well to achieve that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
As an owner, now that you've got to experience the past season that you have, I mean, what's next on the list for you? What's the next goal?
Raheel, I don't know if anything can top that.
Sure.
Because leading a horse in front of 50, 60,000 people and internationally, everybody's seeing you. It's something you can't explain. Even if it wasn't the July, you can't explain this feeling. It's absolutely another level. And Gold Cup as well. And I had calls from all over the world. I've got friends. They were sending me messages. They were watching it. And I was like shocked that this is how far racing goes. And absolutely beautiful.
I tell the public sometimes, because having a bet on a horse and watching it go past the line first and having a successful bet, I mean, that's a thrill on its own. But now have a horse that you own and win, and that's undescribable.
I promise you, we raced from box 24 and, everybody was trying to carry everyone. The fun, I think when on Golvar's day, on July day and the Golvars, when Smanga caught everyone napping and this horse won, it was amazing. Everyone was shocked and everyone was screaming. I think when Smanga went past, we screamed the loudest. And I go and look at, if you hear that when that roar, it was us from box 24. That box went alive. Yeah. I promise you, it was something else.
Absolute delirium.
Talking about, I know that it's Gareth Van Zyl, but he's ably assisted by his father, Gavin. They're not registered as a partnership, but it's father and son. How we were talking about it yesterday at the races. I mean, how blessed and lucky is this country to have so many father and son partnerships? Mike and Matthew de Kock. Recently now, Waiho and Warwick Mowing.
Yes.
And the list goes on, and the Aussies. I mean, it's just testament to the next generation.
No, exactly. It's so important that to keep with Mr. Owen and Craig investing so much money in the sport. Sure. But you need to have good people as well. Yeah. And yes, whilst you're keeping it alive, Gareth, I mean, he's an excellent, and I just can't imagine in 10 years' time what he's going to achieve, because he's a subject matter expert. And so, yes, with all the others as well, Adam, Mazzy, I mean, they're doing well all over the country, even James as well, James Croft. Yeah. They're all excelling, I mean, it's good to keep the sport alive.
There was a training feat, Raheel. We were at Summerfeld not so long ago, and we interviewed Gavin, when this horse came back and had its first run, 1,500 meters. And right from then, they had the plan mapped out and they've executed it so brilliantly.
Garrett, I know you discussed it with Monty, and the plan was a 1,500, a 1,600 in Greyville, and then our first target was the Derby, which we got. And the plan was, and it was like a dream come true. Like how we plotted it, it just happened. And sometimes you have to give thanks to God, and because obviously, doing everything, we didn't have any obstacles in that way to achieve what we achieved.
Gareth was on a panel with us, the World Pool Gold Cup panel, and he mentioned that in the lead up there was a slight little hiccup in the week. Clearly it didn't affect the horse, but I mean, did it affect the mood in the camp?
Garrett he didn't wait for anyone. He didn't wait to listen. He went after the Gold Vase. He pulled up a little lame, but I knew Garrett will be on top of it. And on that Monday, he pumped him up with vitamins. He got him ready. And that the next week he told me, Ravi, if we don't get it right now, then we're going to have a problem for the Gold Cup. But he was spot on. He never wasted time. He was quick. And that's what I like about him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And You touched on that. I've been rumors obviously doing his rounds and sort of like trying to bring the horse down a bit. But Gareth was quite transparent, and I mean, he even gave us a 9 out of 10 when we did that discussion.
Absolutely. And the funniest thing, and you don't want to say anything because it's that's, as you say, rumors, how they spread. But I was doing my shopping at the spa, and a gentleman came up to me and he said, just be careful. I've heard that King Pelles is not so strong in the Gold Cup. I said, thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day. And I moved on. I didn't say a word. But again, rumors, that's I'd like to bump into that man again at the spa and tell him, well, if it wasn't that strong, I'd hate to see what it was like when it was strong.
Yeah. After the Gold Vase, I went to see him, and I went to see King Pelles. I was alone with him. And he's such a good soul, beautiful soul. He was calm, he was rubbing his head, and he's like he knew me, that kind of relationship. And beautiful, beautiful soul, King Pelles. And when I went back to Gareth, I said, Gareth, wow, look at him. He's such a good soul. And Gareth said to me, Ravi, he's better than the Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Better than the Gold Vase. So that's where we are.
Yeah, I mean, that must have given you a lot of confidence, because I mean, you romped home to victory on July Day on the Gold Vase, and I mean, you would have been ecstatic going into the race. I mean, knowing that if that was the outcome and it was even better this time around.
Yeah, I think, as Warren said, there was a lot of negative vibes coming from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And with 60 on his back he is the first horse that won with 60, but it cannot be achieved. And yes, it was achieved. I think you had to put those that didn't believe in it had to put keep quiet, or
Sure.
take the bullet.
Certainly silenced a few races.
Silence of
Eat a humble pie.
Yeah,
Eat humble
100%.
pie. But for me, as you've alluded to, the fact that Gareth went onto a public platform that was viewed around the world to mention and be transparent that there was a slight hiccup, but he still gave the horse a 9 out of 10. That was good enough for me.
Well, honestly, if you wanted to give, you would have given the 10 out of 10.
Yes, he
But
did say, though, he didn't want to sound too confident.
And that's Gareth.
Yeah.
And when you listen to him, like as he said, it was very ambiguous in what he said.
Sure.
He could have given it a 10 out of 10, but, he also, just 2 minutes before the race, asked him, what are your thoughts now? What are you thinking? He calls me Baya. He says, Baya, nothing's going to beat him today. So that's how he was.
Yeah.
But he was like, we all had butterflies in our stomach at that time. But that was the vibe at that time.
Sprinters or stayers?
I always say this, and I say it to all my friends and family as well. Gareth can train from sprinters to stayers, and he does it beautifully. It's proven. You see that first time at Wild Justice, we have a Shane that came out and won on the first go. So he's done well with his stayers, but you know what? To have a good horse, I don't mind whether he's a sprinter. Yeah. I used to love sprinters. And a horse called Red Flyer who beat Vacheron. Vacheron was my horse as well with Michael Azzi. We won the nursery, grade 2. But yes, either or is beautiful.
Yeah.
What has been your most successful horse?
I say, Vacheron won the grade 2 I felt we won the awards as well.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to take anything away. This victory or victories would King Pelles was something else.
You mentioned that you've had a horse that's won 10 races. You mentioned this horse Ashland and now King Pelles. I mean, when you're having a look at the horse that you've owned over your 21 years, I mean, is King Pelles number one?
I have to say, yes, it's going to be close to my heart. I'm going to take him to my grave. That I have to, because, if anything tops it out, but this is special, absolutely special.
Ravi, 2 parts to this question. Let's tackle the first part. What is the greatest lesson you've learned in this industry?
One, don't fight with your trainer. Don't argue with him. Sure. You have to. You can't tell him what to do. Otherwise, you should have been the trainer. Secondly, you take it with a pinch of salt. Like I said, we had our highs, but we had our lowest of lows. We had about a drought, 8 months, we never had a winner. And, when you're paying the bills, And when you don't have a winner, it's difficult. But I still didn't, show my or misbehave or throw the toys out of the cot.
Yeah.
I kept calm and I kept focused, and yes, it's the trainer that has to do his job.
And then the second part is for somebody watching this that wants to either get involved in punting or owning horses or just get involved in racing, one piece of advice for them.
You have to, when you come in, don't expect every time the horse to run has to win. You can't. It's not going to win every round. But you must be passionate. You must have passion for the sport. You must love animals. You must love horses. Winning will come after, but you must have passion for it.
I think that's so important that you mentioned that, you can't expect the horse to rock up every time and win. And I think that's the one thing that sort of new owners into the game, they don't sort of realize is that your horse is not going to come to the racetrack every single time and perform and earn a stake check. I mean, there are going to be days, they like humans, they do have off days. And it's only normal that they could put in a shocking run every now and then.
No, 100%, because, as a new owner, you have to wait almost a year, sometimes a year and a half before your horse can run.
Sure. And you've also got to look at what does the horse owe you? I mean, say for argument's sake, and I say this with respect, as you've said, it wouldn't have been the case, but, King Pelles, had King Pelles got beaten in the Gold Cup, you would have no right to be the needle with the horse. I mean, the horse owes you nothing, really.
Yes.
So that's another good way of looking at it too,
No, 100%. I agree.
Yeah. Then the last point, it would be remiss if we don't talk about Simanga Khumalo.
I promise you, a relationship as, after he got on with, when Garrett is engaged with him, I told Garrett, what, you have made the best decision by having a group jockey.
Yeah.
And Simanga is a group jockey. He's won, a lot of group races. And yes, to have him in a stable is absolutely good. And he can pull it off. I mean, there was a race here in Gravel. We beat Dean Canameo on Rich Folks. Folks.
Yeah.
Yes. And Quandary. I promised you that day, if Simanga or any jockey that was riding it would have lost. He got the horse up on the line and we beat Rich Folks. So yes, he's an absolutely excellent jockey. He loves the game. He's passionate, and he's also very, very disciplined how he races. So yes, a very good jockey.
And he's got a great mentor in Monty.
I think, having Monty by his side is, I've got to know Monty in a short while, but he's absolutely a gentleman, and he also helps Garrett in selecting the races and Simanga in choosing his rides as well. So he's very, very good and knowledgeable.
What a journey this gentleman has been on, and his family.
No, incredible. And I mean, 21 years and still going strong and having what may have been his most successful season in, the past season. I mean, anything is possible going forward. And
absolutely.
You're on a high at the moment.
Yeah, at our celebrations this weekend, Gavin mentioned the longest stay for an owner is 3 years. I didn't know that. He said you don't get an owner more than 3 years. They come in the game and they leave. But this man has been here for 21 years. It's a long time. So I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. It's an absolutely brilliant way of looking at it. But 21 years. Well, we wish you and your family all the very best. We wish you another 121 years, because there's no questioning his passion and his love for the game. I mean, you can just feel the vibe sitting next to you, Ravi, and just we wish you all the best, and we're going to follow your journey step by step with you.
No, thank you, Warren. To have my family and watch my parents watch me at the races from home. Yep. They were all in tears on those days. So, it's very exciting. Raheel, thank you guys as well for having me here. And also to all my family and friends, that supported us and support me. Yeah, it's been a beautiful journey, and long may it continue, because we still have a lot of stock. A lot of good horses still need to come out. They haven't come out yet. But yes, I love it. I love the sport, and I'll still be here. God willing.
Thank you
Robbie,
very much.
You mentioned the 4 years' time, hoping to win after July, and hopefully all goes according to plan in the next 4 years, and I'm sure we'll certainly keep in touch on a regular basis.
Yeah, thank you, Raheel. From my mouth to God's ears, let's hope He blesses us accordingly. But yeah, that's what everyone is doing.
Before we wrap it up, it would be remiss if we don't quickly speak about, I think it's a brilliant thing that's happened. SABC are now taking our product, RaceCoast Cape Town, RaceCoast KZN. I think it's a window to the world. I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's good because we obviously, that type of viewership aren't so familiar with racing, and it's good that we're able to grow the audience. And it's something that we need. I think we need more people in the game, and I think to grow the audience is a huge positive for us.
Absolutely. And that's to bring racing to the people. That's what it's all about.
100%. It's exciting because it's a sport. You know, it needs to go out there.
And you're right, it deserves its time, as does soccer, as does rugby, and it's a sport.
100%. The more it's out there, more people will get involved. Yeah, thanks to all those that are contributing to make it happen, you know. That's important as well.
Ravi, all the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron.
That's a wrap from us. Thank you. Absolutely fantastic. It's been wonderful chatting and listening to this magnificent story. And to Ravi and his whole family and all his business and racing interests. We wish him really all the very best and thank him for his time. That's a wrap from Rahil Radhakrishna, Ravi Padayachee, myself, Warren Inferna. Punt well, be safe, be kind, and as always, we will see you in the number 1 box.